I'm Pern.
And I'm Dave.
Welcome to the show, where we talk about everything from movies, music, sports, and TV.
And stories from the rest of our lives.
Things we don't talk about are politics and religion.
And this is how we all stay friends.
Okay, let's talk. My wife is off to England for the week. She and her sister and her mom, they're going on a girls' trip to England. Her mom is from England. So they're going back to visit, like, I think her mom's home area and stuff. So in England. So they're gone. And then at the end of the week, my wife and her sister got tickets to go see Taylor Swift at Wembley Stadium in London.
Wow.
Yes, which is huge. I was so excited. Today, I took her to her parents, and they were going to the airport from there. And I told her, I said, I'm so excited. Like, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but like the fact that you're going to be like down on the pitch at Wembley Stadium and like looking up in this
along
90,000
with being in the concert. Yeah.
Yes. In this 90,000 seat venue, the second largest in the UK. It's just like, wow. I mean, not like it's a bucket list thing of mine, but just that the size of that and how big that is. And
that's
like,
quite a scope. I mean, if you think about it.
And I mean, in the US, I mean, you've got the Cowboys Stadium in Dallas, which seats, what, 100 and some thousand? Just over 100,000, I think. Which is ginormous. And
but you can throw more on the field, right? I mean, if you lined up people on the field too.
Maybe that's for seating. Anyway,
it adds a lot more.
Wife has gone to England and she's away now, and I'm the full-time dad. I mean, I'm always a full-time dad.
Right. But now
I'm taking care of the meals and all that stuff. And just
not like you can't do it. You've done it. So.
Well, yeah. Tonight
it's not a test, but.
Right? So we dropped her off and then came home, and then before I knew it, was like, oh, it's time to make dinner, and we make dinner and get all that stuff done, and get it ready, and then Stanley Cup is at 8:00, and Dave came over early, so we watched the first period of Stanley Cup.
Yes,
Edmonton's winning right now, which I'm not crazy about because. I know that was really a buzzkill. I was all excited,
and I was shorthander.
Another shorthander, just like in the last game. Like Edmonton comes out with a shorthanded goal in the first couple minutes of the game, and takes a lead, and it's absolutely. And I just so now I'm just like all kind of
I get it.
So anyway, so I have a week. So maybe by next Tuesday's episode, which is when my wife gets back late that night, we'll record, and then I'll have to go pick her up.
Right.
We'll see how frazzled I am from the week, because I know she does so much around our house, and she does so much for the family and so much. And this is, this trip for her, I told her today, I'm like, enjoy it. Just have fun. It's well-deserved vacation for you.
Right.
Like, you're away, go have fun, enjoy the Taylor Swift show. I told her last week too with the Taylor Swift thing, I said, for the show, I said, make me a promise that when she comes out on stage, take a couple, take your selfies and your pictures and you and your sister and stuff like that. And where we're at, and then put your fucking phone away and just enjoy the moment.
Right.
Don't be one of those people that you have to have your phone up and record the whole show.
Pictures the whole time.
Dude, you go on Disney Plus and watch the Eras Tour. Yeah, you've seen it professionally shot. Like, enjoy the moment.
I thought you were going to say, throw one of our shirts up onto the stage.
Yeah, throw a Pern and Dave.
Because for your Father's Day, I noticed you were wearing the
Father's Day was this past weekend.
Yes,
and my wife got me a Pern and Dave T-shirt, made with our little little animated logo guys on it of us, and
totally cool.
I made the joke to her. I'm like, so people that don't know that this is a podcast and they look at this they think this is my gay life partner or something.
Just a picture of two cartoon characters.
Just Pern and Dave on my shirt.
On your shirt.
It's us cartooned and on a shirt. Yeah. So they think it's,
Well, I had my excursion for my Father's Day, but I can't get into that yet because I'm telling you right now, before that, we had the weekend and we went shopping. And so I have a bit of a pet peeve about shopping I thought was a thing, but then it disappeared. And I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. The pet peeve
or the thing? Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Anyway, so my pet peeve is that shopping locations don't accommodate for the person who's not shopping. Like when I went So
elaborate. I'm still confused.
Female shoe shopping is like a contact sport. I mean, they get into it. They're trying shoes on there multiple pairs. So Lisa's in that mode too. Yeah. So she had 8 or 10 pairs of boxes of just stuff she was trying,
stacks,
comparing.
Of shoes.
Because there's feel. It's all that stuff. Guys, I'm wearing the same pair of shoes, and I went in and found the same pair of shoes in red. These are the same blue ones that I'm wearing. The Nikes,
ones. Yeah.
They're exactly
which is the same ones I wear, which
but
is
they're
funny.
red.
I get them on Amazon.
And in DSW, they had a pair right next to it, and I said, "Oh, this is in red. I'll just get these." I was done in like 5 seconds.
Right,
I was
and you're done.
Yeah, but they don't have anywhere for me to like sit and wait.
Oh, and hang out while.
Right? Why don't they? So originally, DSW had TVs that were playing, of course, sports and stuff, and or whatever, and then and a couple chairs, so you could just kind of wait and be comfortable. They don't do that anymore.
Really?
Yeah, there's nothing, and nowhere does it. Like so even like at craft stores or anything shoppers. Like that. Well, it's not. If females went into male stores, you'd think that they would want to try to just sit down and not want to have to deal with it. But I don't know. But
gotcha. So the pet peeve is that there was just no place to sit.
They aren't really accommodating that. Yeah, and I guess with the pandemic and all, everything just changes. But I mean, I would think that you would want.
Sidebar: do you have your DSW rewards card?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Okay,
yes,
okay, go back.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Well, actually, it's under my mom's name, so we just kind of put hers in there.
Oh, okay.
We get the discounts and everything like that, so it all piles
rewards
up.
Cheating.
Oh, is that kind of? Is that cheating?
I don't know. Is it like password sharing on Netflix? Is that? I don't know. We won't tell the DSW people, but at DSW, if you'd like to give us a sponsorship, we'd be more than happy to sponsor. Be a sponsorship from DSW shoes.
I will get my own membership if that's the case. But
yeah.
But I mean, it was. I would think that they would want that to be like have the people in the store
more
longer.
Inviting.
If I was sitting down, I wouldn't be like, can we go now?
Yeah, looking at you watching your phone and pushing. All right,
can we go? Can we go now? Can we go?
Yes.
Now, if I was sitting down and we were just kind of,
I'm good.
I'm okay. Let's go. Like knock yourself out. I don't care. I wouldn't have any problem with that, especially when I'm on my phone and I'm just screwing around. So yeah, but I had nowhere to go, and I was sitting in the middle of an aisle on one of those little changer bench things, and I had just boxes around me because Lisa was grabbing stuff and then bringing it over and then saying, "I'm going to go try these on." So I had boxes just wrapped around me.
Like you're building the fort in Walmart.
Yes, pretty much.
Overnight.
Yes, and hiding
in the paper towels. Yeah, exactly. Paper towel section.
So part of that was the hot take. I wanted to know if you had how you felt about that, the shopping.
Oh, well,
a new segment, Pern's hot take.
Pern's hot take. This is going to be a very cold, quick take. So we do the majority of our shopping online now, and even with my wife, we don't. She's an introvert. She's like staying in. She'll order stuff on Amazon and then it's just return. And we're part of the reason big box stores are dying because we don't go to big box stores.
Okay, so but even trying
shop.
Stuff on she doesn't even get into that.
No, like she has her. Yeah, no, we do all of our. Yeah, the shopping pretty much.
I could get away with
online.
it too because I only have one pair of shoes that I wear. So
all I have to keep wearing is my Pern and Dave Let's Talk T-shirt.
Yes,
and I'm
Let's Talk.
I keep making podcasts and I just keep getting T-shirts.
Perfect. So more T-shirts. Exactly.
I'll just wear these shirts all the time now, and that's. So, I don't know. So I get it because at my work there's a lot of like parents and siblings there of the kids on the ice skating and stuff, but we do have the mezzanine area upstairs where you can it overlooks the ice and you can watch your kids skate and you can watch your kid play.
It's a great area.
And we used to have a game room, which was awesome because it had like arcade games and a candy game claw machine and all this stuff. And then they took that out and they made it into like a dance studio thing for like off ice for figure skaters and stuff.
Right.
And I mean, it gets used, but not to the extent, like at least when we had the game room, the kids had a place to congregate. And now they just run all over the fucking building.
It's chaos.
Oh my God, absolutely. We have to yell at them. We have signs posted, no ball play or stick handling or blah, blah, all over and it doesn't matter. They're still throwing footballs around. And it's just like, and I go out all the time and like, guys, stop, enough. And like, they just, because the parents don't care, to be honest. They just let them run around like, like the building is their baby. Like it's a big, huge playground. I'm like, it's not. We're a business. So, and if your siblings on the ice, you need to go sit down with your parent wherever they are, and this isn't a jungle gym.
Right.
So,
Okay, and I had another one.
Okay.
So was the Surgeon General's out. Yeah, okay. That was hot. It was hot. So the Surgeon General is asking that social media put warning labels, and I was just wondering what your hot take was.
Warning labels on the content,
social media, a warning that kids can be. This could cause issues with development because of social or
well, it does
mental development.
I mean, believe me, I've watched some stuff, and now with younger kids that are getting older and now have phones and all this stuff and the social media stuff and all of the shaming and stuff that happens to middle school kids, which is ridiculous, and they go online and start saying shit about another kid, and then that sticks with them because it's now embedded in social media, and it's like. Oh my God, such bullshit. So, right. I mean, on
stigmatism.
So on Father's
travel
Day
with them too.
So on Father's Day, my phone, I have one of the little charger disc things. You just lay your iPhone on it and it charges. I forget what they're called. Anyway, and so, but occasionally I'll lay my phone down and not realize that it's not charging. So on Saturday night when I went to bed, I put my phone down and it didn't charge. So Sunday when I got up on Father's Day, my phone was dead. And I was like, oh, well, let me put it on the charger. I left my phone upstairs in the bedroom almost all day. And it was so nice to be disconnected.
Because you contacted me late.
Oh, yeah.
On that one, he goes, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so bored.
Oh, yeah.
I was so bored.
Because
you weren't doing anything.
How's your Father's Day?
How's it going? And I was just checking in. And
but
you
it
were
wasn't,
I'm so bored.
It wasn't because
it's okay.
I wasn't on my phone, though. I actually enjoyed not having it. I'm like, oh my God, let it stay dead. Let the stupid thing stay off. I don't care. I'm like, if I could be disconnected and off the grid, I would. I mean, I've stayed off of social media for years. And then only reason I came back was again for the podcast to promote us.
Yes.
And, let people know about us and stuff like that. But that's the only reason I came back on social media because I turned it off. I was just like, I'm so, we talked about the dumbing of America, about the stuff that's, out there, like iPhone toilets. And,
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. I showed Dave pictures before the podcast. For some reason in my Instagram feeds now, I get all of these toilet companies that make stupid toilet things. I know, and now it's nonstop because we had the Air Jordans one a couple of weeks ago, and the diamond jewel ones that look like big diamonds, and and then the two that I got this week. One of them was a Back to the Future DeLorean toilet. It's all stainless steel and it has little gull wing doors, and you close them around you while you poop. And then the other one was an iPhone toilet where the back side of the toilet is like your iPhone screen, and it's a black toilet you're sitting on. And it's like you're sitting on your phone. And it's just like, well, I mean, everybody sits on their phone on the toilet anyway. But
but it doesn't need to be your toilet.
Oh my God, ridiculous.
Okay, and then I had another one more. We for some strange ass reason we got into some weird ass conversation where I brought up Grape Ape, and then I brought up
Grape Ape.
You know Grape Ape, right?
Grape Ape.
That's Grape Ape.
Yep, Grape Ape.
Yeah, from a long time ago. And I asked, my thing was Grape Ape versus King Kong,
King Kong would squish him.
You think?
Totally.
Why?
Just the size. I mean, Grape Ape is super strong.
Well, okay, we looked it up.
I think
King Kong and
destroy Grape Ape
are comparable in height.
Oh, then Grape Ape.
Oh, you do. I think Grape Ape's a little too
but Grape Ape, I thought Grape Ape rode on the top of the back of the van or something like that.
Yes, and he's 40 feet tall, listed as in Laugh Olympics Wikipedia. He's listed at 40 feet.
No.
And so was King Kong. The last King Kong was 40 feet tall.
I got to go Grape Ape then.
I think
I thought Kong was
because he's more wild. So I would have to say King Kong probably, but the argument
was
that
Grape Ape is he's more sentimental. He's got that soft side.
Agreed.
That where King Kong would be just like, fuck you, rip your arms off.
Exactly. I'm going to eat your head. I fought Godzilla, so screw you, right? So I'm thinking,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
Yep, so that was Pern's hot take.
I like that one.
That's Pern's hot take.
That was Pern's hot take. That weren't really that hot. I got a little steamed there for a minute on a couple of those things. But,
well, you get, I'm trying to poke the bear.
Okay, I'll get a little worked up next time, I think. A little more worked up.
So you need more Grape Ape.
That was more like the Pern mild take.
Right. So, but yeah, there was a big argument as how big actually Grape Ape was too.
I swear to God,
he rode on top of the van. But again, you guys are dealing with cartoon
on top of the van.
But you guys are dealing with cartoon physics. They really don't give a rat's butt about that stuff. But if you watch the van driving by buildings, there were 44-story buildings, which is 40 feet in
Well, it's 10 feet per floor, so 40 stores.
4 times 10 is 40.
400.
4 times 10 is 40.
Oh, four floor store. Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I thought you were saying there were 40 stories.
There were 4 stories.
Okay, gotcha.
High. So, yeah. When they were driving by buildings.
Yeah.
Technically, if you were
I would have to go back and do
put the math on that.
Yeah.
But he would sit on top of the dumbass van and he would jump on the van. I can't believe the van's axles could stand that, even a 40-foot gorilla.
Yeah, even if it was a reinforced roll cage inside or something, it would still crush the roof. I mean, those old vans from the 70s, I mean, it was literally like a tin can. It was like a Coke can.
Right? They weren't reinforced with crap. And Beagley wasn't going to be doing any reinforcements. He'd have the money for that.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, so there we go.
In our cartoon segment.
Yes, right into cars.
That was a good one. Right? Oh, yeah, we can go right into cars from that.
Yes.
So we have a couple license plates that saw this past week. One that I saw was on a Subaru Outbacker Forester or something like that, and it was 911 DSPCH. I was like, 911 dispatch. Like, okay, that's clever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Go.
And it makes sense. And they had the little firefighter logo on the license plate.
Oh, right. Yeah, you can for the extra money. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I got it. Yeah, they're 911 dispatch. Okay, that was clever.
That's good.
I give thumbs up to that one. Great license plate. Then I saw this other one. It was LOVEPTY. And I'm like, and it was on a Prius. And I go, Love Putty?
Putty.
What is Love Putty? I think I saw that once in a sex shop in New Orleans.
Love Putty. Maybe he likes St. Patrick's Day.
Or hamburgers, hamburger patties.
Love SpongeBob.
And it was on a Prius. And I'm like, Love Putty? What is Love Putty?
PTY party.
Love party. But there's no. You'd have to go PR.
See, spelling out LOVE kind of wastes letters, right? You just do LV or LUV.
LUV, and then you could have got the R in if it was party. If it was party, PRTY.
Completely lost. Yes, they lose it on that. So
Love Putty,
and I'm sure someone already. He loves putty. I guess he fills cracks.
Yeah. Well, hello. One way or another. Again, I saw that once in a sex shop in New Orleans. Love Putty. Yeah, that's for a whole other use.
So my mom had a tip-in on one from last year or yesterday.
Okay.
Or last week. Sorry, last week.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yep. Nancy, what do you got?
Plum RCR one. It's a NASCAR thing. Supposedly RCR is a racing company, and Plum PLUMB
is a driver.
Matt Plum.
Oh,
yeah. So
it's
I
a
think
driver.
It might be Plum's Racing.
That's probably what a good call, Nancy.
I think that's what that is. She mentioned that and she brought that up. So I was
good call.
Shout
Nancy.
out to
because she watches NASCAR, right?
I don't think she watches NASCAR, but I think she's in the circle
of friends that have people that at least know something. Like,
I've never ever
outside of NASCAR. If it's not Jeff Gordon or Earnhardt, I have no clue about anybody in NASCAR. That's the only two, and I only know those two because of those two. Yeah,
that's many years ago. I have a feeling I kind of retired.
So my wife saw a license plate, this one, and I'm going to show you the picture first.
Oh, okay.
And then,
and so I can try to get it from the visual.
You can, and then let me get over to, I'm trying to scroll. I thought I had it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this was on the back. She saw this in Winchester, actually. Okay. You ready for that one?
Jesus.
So how does that get through? Right? How does that get through the DMV?
I don't know.
So
I have absolutely no clue unless they modified it.
Okay, so now we're going to tell you what it is. So it's 8UCK-OFF. So it's supposed to be like fuck off, but it's an 8. So it's like buck off because it's on a Ford Bronco. So yeah, because it's on the back of a Bronco. So it's like buck off, but that still seems like it would be a little too risky to go through the DMV saying, "Oh, buck off."
Right.
Because it's basically you're saying fuck off.
Right.
Buck
pretty
off.
Much.
Oh, buck off.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they just have certain flags for certain things.
I don't know how you get that through. I'm kind of tempted now. I want to
do whatever.
I want to go put through a new plate and see if I can put it through something. Yeah, that does see if it'll work. Or they
you can just go to a DMV and ask them to put them in and say, is this going to work? Is that going to work? And then the system does the picking.
But even if you do it online on their website, I think it'll come back and tell you that that's offensive,
or it's not allowed,
or not allowable because it's an offensive, or something, or it comes back with some sort of message like that. I think.
Well, it's one to test. One to test. I have homework because I did a lot of homework.
He did. Dave came in tonight with all this stuff.
Plenty of homework.
So awesome. So okay, one more car thing. So this past weekend was the 150th second or 100 and something running of Le Mans in France.
Yes.
The 24-hour car race.
Yeah.
And so now I have not even really paid attention to it all. My son is really getting into cars, which I love. And so he doesn't, and I don't either. Neither one of us can tolerate NASCAR, which is why we didn't know that license plate.
Right.
So now that we've pissed off NASCAR people, the bicyclists,
you really piss them off. I mean, it's not
the BMW drivers,
unless you were in that circle. So.
Not a NASCAR fan, but I do love European, Formula One racing. Mm-hmm. And with Le Mans, they had 3 different classes of cars that they were racing. They had hypercars. They have a GT3 series.
Okay.
And Porsche won the GT3 series, which was awesome. I was very, very happy. And that's basically like you can buy a Porsche GT3 from a Porsche dealership. It's going to cost you like $230,000.
Right.
So this one that they race at Le Mans it has the roll cage. It's reinforced for, racing. But as far as it's pretty much, that's the car almost you can buy engine wise and stuff that you would buy if you went and bought a real Porsche GT3.
Right.
So the hypercar series is really the group that everybody watches and they monitor and the whole thing. And Ferrari won the hypercar series.
Okay.
They won it last year, so they won it back-to-back years. And we started watching the broadcast, I think started like at 10 a.m. I picked it up in the afternoon sometime. My sons had been watching. And so I watch overnight because I'm up all night. And it was funny because around 11 o'clock our time, which was like 4 o'clock their time, 4 a.m. in the morning, it started raining. Mm-hmm. And they don't do like a rain delay. They send out a safety car, like a pace car.
Okay.
To slow the traffic, slow it down. But they keep racing in that 24-hour, thing.
Yeah.
And at the time, Porsche and Toyota were kept flipping back and forth for first and second place, and through this. And it's funny to hear these guys, these announcers that do this. They've been doing it for years,
of course.
And it's a team of like 3 guys. But when it's now 4 o'clock in the morning for them, and they start getting loopy, it is funny just listening to the things they talk about. Like when the safety car was out, they normally have they have letters on them. So there's an A car, a B car, and a C car, and a D car.
Okay.
Well, this rain delay went on for hours. And so when the car runs out of gas, they pull it off and they send out like the B car. And then when that one runs out, then they start going through a rotation of, and sending them out.
Right.
They actually had got to use for the first time ever the D car.
Oh, because they finally got down to it because the rain was still going.
Because it was still going on. Like, okay, we need these cars to have, even kind of wear now. And this might be a while still. Mm-hmm. They send out the D car for the safety car, and these announcers are like, it's a monumental occasion. We're finally seeing the D car. We didn't even know it existed. And it's this little Porsche 911, and they send it out.
Nice.
And it was like the D car, and like we've only heard about it. It's like the stories. We'd never actually seen one.
The D car
in the wild. The D car finally came out and ran.
That's interesting.
So that was funny. And then one of the other things they did, they were talking about how, the cars come in, for their routine pits and stuff like that, and, make sure they've got their wet racing tires on and things like that. And so with the hypercars, it's the energy source in it. It's not like an electric car, but it's a fuel based, but it's a cleaner. I mean, remember the movie Cars 2, where it was like putting the fake gas and blowing the cars up. Did you see Cars 2?
Yeah, I do remember that.
It seems similar to that, but this is really a thing. This fuel that they use. Anyway, but all of the details and stuff that they can monitor and you can see up on the screen, like you can see how much fuel energy cell is left on each car. You can see who's down to, and even when Ferrari came across the line, they were down to 2%. That car was about to die, and they were like,
well, they were riding it down until
because I turned it on within the last 18 to 20 minutes. And it was at like 12%. I'm like, is this car going to make it? Yeah. And it still had 20 minutes to go. And literally when it came around that last lap, it's like 2% energy. This car's about to.
The buzzer was going
and the
off
announcers
in the car.
The announcers were joking like, well, he's still driving it like it's full.
Yes. He's not letting it up and saving anything for the last feet.
So earlier in when the middle of the night, when the rain delay was going on, the one announcer makes a comment. He goes, there was one year we were on here doing this, and he goes, I was just talking and going through, doing the narrative stuff and all that. He goes, and I look over and realize I'm the only person awake. because the other two announcers have passed out. They've fallen asleep. And he's like the one, he's just rambling on about the cars and all this.
And then they just
someone has
out.
to stay awake to do it. And he goes, I was talking and looked over and realized, I'm the only one awake right now talking. And then the last thing that was humorous was they got it, because again, they're loopy. It's now 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at the point when he says this. They're talking about the driving in the rain, and if your car gets wetter from driving slower or driving faster. And I was like, well, you're getting wet regardless, but then they are getting into a serious discussion about, yes, but when you're traveling faster, you're running into more rain faster and than you are when you're going slower. But then when you're going slower, more rain can fall at one time on top of your car. It was like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, you need some sleep.
Wow.
You seriously need to get some sleep, because they're in this discussion. And then they're laughing too, because they realize how absurd that it's getting, because
they're also trying to fill 24 hours.
Right. They have 24 hours of a whole other thing too.
So let's figure out what we're going to talk about.
And they're trying to decide, if
we do it for an hour.
Get wetter,
yes, I mean,
if you get, so when you next time it rains, go out. Are you getting wetter if you walk slower, or are you going to get it wetter if you run faster
the rain
through the rain?
Shooting off of you if you're moving faster.
I don't know. That's the good argument on the
on that argument.
Yeah. So I think that was my last car thing.
I have a car thing too, because I had this is one of my homework assignments to look up the bridge drivers, right? From
last week.
So supposedly what happens
hold on. So last week we talked about how the Bay Bridge that in DC going out towards the beach areas, it's this huge bridge, and there's a company that will drive you from one side of the bridge to the other for the people that are terrified of driving on bridges.
Okay, so
go ahead.
They still drive on the bridge. It wasn't like they took a helicopter over the bridge or anything like that.
They still drive that person in their car.
That person on the bridge, which doesn't save you anything, right? That doesn't exactly save you if the bridge still collapsed. You're still in a car with another person to drive you.
It's a more experienced driver on a bridge.
Okay, so here we go. There are things associated with this, which I was like amazed and kind of fun. It's kind of funny. So the bridge drivers, what they do is I guess it's the truck stop or the way station that's right there.
Yeah.
So there's a way station right there. They stop there, right? And the person meets them there. Then they have what's called a shadow. So the shadow person gets into your car, and then you get into the driver's car. The other car. And then they drive you with the shadow behind them over the bridge. And then down there near one of the exits to Kent Island, I think is the thing.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it gets off to the side, and then they switch back.
Okay. Because we were trying to figure out how the drivers would get back.
I was like amazed. I was like, okay, so that's whole circle there. So there's two. It was an extra shadow guy.
Gotcha.
So that's the one thing. Do you want to guess how much this little service is?
$49.95.
It's $40.
Oh my God.
$40 one way.
To have somebody drive you across a bridge.
One way. And the toll on the bridge is only $2.50.
Yeah.
So $40. And you would have to pay the toll too.
Buttercup.
So that's
$42.50
each way. So that's one way. So if you're going to have to do it coming back the other way, you're doing it again.
It's the most expensive Uber ever. That's
it's only between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Oh, so 7 o'clock at night you're fogged.
Yeah, if you're trying to beat the traffic or anything, getting there early, you have to sit around and wait.
So they're only there in prime time.
Of course. Well, they're not going to waste their time. And they average about 6,000 customers a year.
Yeah.
Wow. 6,000 customers. So divide, do the math.
365
that's
days
like 5
a year.
or 6
so
maybe a weekend or something maybe. But it's not too many. But the funny thing that I saw was that in the van, they had masks for the people to put over their face.
Like oxygen masks?
Like sleep masks. To cover their eyes. So they didn't have to see crossing the bridge. And they had words on the masks.
Oh, wow.
And one of them was, I hate this bridge on the mask.
My gosh.
One of them is not looking. And the other one was Kent Island Express, which I thought was kind of funny too. But I was like, okay, well, so they're basically trying to keep the person from completely losing their cheese going across the bridge. And I'm just, I was like, okay, but.
I'm not saying I've been on big bridges and been like, oh yeah, this is cool. I mean, there's been that like hesitation for like a second of like, what if? Okay, never mind, we're going. Okay,
right.
But I
knew someone who, when they were in the car we had to roll the windows down when we crossed bridges because they felt that if they went over the edge, that the water would be able to get in the car.
Dave, I've known Lisa since high school. Yeah, I know that's...
Lisa doesn't have that kind of problem. She's kind of in her own world when we're driving, so she doesn't care where we are. I would think that this also is a tunnel thing, but when I tried to find that, there isn't a service for tunnels.
For tunnels?
Well, you would think the same thing, right?
I would be more worried about going through a tunnel than over a bridge because, like...
Well, in both scenarios, if something were to happen, you're still screwed. It's not like you driving that person across is any better. It's just you're dealing with your anxiety of being in that fear of being in that location. And I would say a tunnel is more claustrophobic, like that kind of an anxiety than a bridge would be.
Yeah.
But a bridge, I mean, in any case, if something were to happen, it's game over. I'm sorry. You're falling. How many? I mean, some of those bridges are kind of super high.
Oh yeah.
But even if that was the case, you're still falling in a car, for God's sake. I mean, that's not like, where you see it in the movies where they go crashing off the bridge and they just happen to land and they still keep driving. No, it doesn't quite happen. No. I mean, So there's that. So that was that bridge drivers, and more power to them that they're making money on that.
Cool.
Yeah. I have a 2 real, 1 fake.
Oh, you have 2 reels and yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. We have 2 reels and 1 fake.
And that was associated with our grape ape versus whatever. I did a cartoon.
Kong?
I did a cartoon one.
Oh, so we're all cartoons.
These are all cartoons.
Okay, here
so
we go.
You need to guess the fake cartoon based on the description.
2 fake, 1
and
real.
I went out and found
2 real, 1 fake.
2 real, 1 fake. So interesting little cartoons that I found.
Okay, hit me. Because there's a lot of stuff I don't know about anymore. I mean, if it was older stuff, maybe.
How old back do you go? Did you watch cartoons with your children? I'm obviously you did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, some of these might be in there.
Let's just go.
Some of these might be Nickelodeon / Disney / whatever.
Okay,
right?
All right, hit me. I'm ready.
Our Cartoon Network too. Yvonne of the Yukon, frozen French explorer thawed out after 300 years. It's like Captain America without the heroism or charming personality.
Okay,
so that's the first one. Second, Mark on Mars. During a routine flight to Mars, the mighty Mark Masters finds himself marooned with an inept robot and fending off waves of mindless Martian monsters.
Interesting. Okay.
3, Dave the Barbarian. Follow Dave and his sisters as they protect their kingdom from magical monsters and villains during their parents' vacation.
So I watched that. It's not cartoon, though. It's like Muppets.
No, it's a cartoon.
What? No.
Dave the Barbarian.
We had it on our DVR.
Okay, well, you can. I think you do a video search for that. It is.
I swear it was cartoon. Like I did not think it was cartoon. I thought it was like Muppet kind of, not technically a Muppets show, but a Okay.
You mean with puppets?
Yes, puppets. That's what I'm trying to say. Not Muppets specifically. Yes, sorry.
Didn't say anything about puppets in the
It's an octopus. It's a Muppet. It's a puppet. Oh my gosh.
But I mean, it wasn't from the Muppet, like a version of the Muppets.
Yes, it was not Jim Henson. It wasn't.
But it's with puppets.
Never mind. I'm going to go with the second one.
Oh, Mark on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fake one.
All right, cool.
There you go. Hey, 1 for 1.
I got
Starting
one.
Off okay.
All right. Let's go. Let's keep us rolling.
Here we go. Okay. First one. Gigabytes. Travel to the restaurant at the end of the internet for the best appetizers and entrees as Chef Giga beats out the dreaded competition Senior Vi R Us.
Okay.
Gigabytes. Number 2, Cyber Chase. A group of 3 tweens and their robotic bird sidekick are transported into cyberspace to thwart the hacker and his viral schemes.
Okay.
Number 3, Reboot. Keeping the world of mainframe safe, Bob, Dot, and Enzo battle sentient viruses like Megabyte and Hexadecimal.
But not Gigabyte the chef.
Not Gigabyte. No, not Giga.
Okay. I'm going to go with the second one again.
Second one's actually real. That was on PBS. And you'll be happy to know that the bird was Gilbert Godfrey and hacker was Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, okay.
a little background on that one. Yeah, Sydney watched that one. Gigabytes was the.
That one sounded good.
Though
I like that
restaurant
one.
At the end of the.
All right, I think we got our first animation series.
I got that one from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was my inspiration. On that
right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next ones. And this is the last ones. Mr. Meaty. The detailed lives of 2 awkward teens working at the namesake restaurant as puppets. This one is a puppet one.
Oh, this is puppets.
This physically said puppets in the description.
Okay.
Number 2, Food Wars. enter a world of super intelligent vegetables as they battle the evil Sugar Sweet and his snack packers to save the planet Gardenia.
Okay.
Okay. And number 3, Chowder. Follow our intrepid, aspiring chef Chowder as he learns from the infamous Mung Dal and Schnitzel.
Those all sound like
ones you'd want to see.
Yeah, I think I would watch all of those, but I'm going to go with the third one.
The third one is Real. That was on, I think that one was on Nickelodeon or the Cartoon Network. Chowder, we watched that one. That was pretty good. And Schnitzel had no voice. He would just go, robber, 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 the whole time. And you had to infer what he was talking about the whole time. Do you want the second one? Food Wars was
Food Wars.
Yeah, the vegetables.
The Sugar Sweet. The sugar. I like that. I was thinking about that one.
Sugar Sweet. That was pretty good.
That was a good one.
There you go.
Cool. So Dave went and cheated on me.
Yes, I did.
Yes, he did.
Hey, I brought.
Well, you brought me a sub. You brought me a sub.
I brought it back, but yes, it was a father. That was my Father's Day.
But there was no sloppy pussy in that bag.
No, that was just that one. Well, now here's the thing, though. Again, we're in Purcellville, right?
Right.
So So what happened was that I was told. This is what I was told, that I needed to pick something up in Arlington.
Right.
Okay. And of course, this was supposed to be a surprise.
Day.
This was on Father's Day. So Monday we decided we were going to run out and take care of this. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is my Father's Day present. And I was told this would be my Father's Day present. I got to pick it up in Arlington, right? And Sid had me go out and we drove.
Did they pre-order it?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Sunday. I mean, they put in an order.
Sorry, so they had it. Okay, I gotcha.
Right. So they made the order. And then, so she knew that we had it already taken care of. So we were ready and we were going to go pick it up. Now, before we left, she kind of tipped her hat and she said, I need to get a cooler. So I was like, okay. Okay. So here's official. Well, right. Didn't I text
because
you?
Because Dave texted me on Sunday night and he goes, I think I know, or I'm going to Arlington tomorrow.
I know what I'm getting.
Oh, really? What are you getting? And he literally sent me the little gif of like Cookie Puss flying through the air.
Yes, it was a Cookie Puss. It was definitely a Cookie Puss. In the commercial. In the commercial. It was so awesome. Right. Yeah, and the 70s version of the Cookie Puss commercial.
Which is a great,
so yeah, it was a Cookie Puss. So we're now driving all the way into Arlington. Now, Arlington's 50 some miles away.
Yes.
And it's an hour and something. And of course, what happens this week? We're in dead center of a heat wave.
Oh yeah, it's in the 90s.
90 something degrees, right? And we drive out there. We stopped and got food and we made sure we got something to eat. But then we're headed out there and we drive all the way out there. And it was arduous trying to get out there. And we finally get there. And then it's about 2:30. And I had to put in my order because Pern, I had him fill out the order form for a sub because he loves the subs.
There's a sub for Mario's, which is where the only Carvel is. They share the same
only
building.
Carvel in the entire Virginia area. That's the one in Northern Virginia because I think the next closest one is Roanoke.
Something like that. And it happens to be Mario's Pizza. Mario's Pizza House is right there,
and Carvel.
And Carvel. They share the same little building.
The building,
and like Mario's has the best steak and cheese sub I've ever had in my entire life. And it is so, and again, it's hours away. So yes. I told Dave, I'm like, can you pick one up? I'll give you money on Tuesday night.
Because the only other time we ever get one is when we're at the hockey games and we're headed back.
And we come back out through the DC and we stop and get it.
And they're open late on those
but
nights
that was earlier on an earlier podcast. We talked about how they were closed.
Oh, God. Yeah. That was funny as hell. Anyway. Yeah, they were open this time.
Cool. So he got me a sub.
So we get there. And she says, I'm here to pick up a Cookie Puss. Okay, no problem. And she goes and she gets ready to pay. I'm ordering your sub. So I'm getting the sub already. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And freaking sub was $22 for a 12-foot sub.
I know how much it cost.
Or a 12-inch sub.
I gave you 25.
12-inch. Yes, you did. Oh, you didn't have to give me 25.
Well, that was your DoorDash tip.
Because I did deliver.
Because I'm that stingy with DoorDash too.
I was only 24 hours late on the delivery.
Yeah, just 24 hours late. You're lucky you got paid at all.
I was lucky I got money at all. Yeah, exactly.
No, we knew. I knew going in.
And then that was kind of funny. But you know what I mean? It was like, and then we got there. And I was like, God, that's kind of expensive. Do you know how much the Cookie Puss was?
It was like $60 some, right?
It was $70.
What? Oh, with tax, it was like
it was $70. And online, when you look up, like if you put in, how much is Cookie Puss, right? Or Cookie Puss cost? You just do Google, right? I guess in New York, where there's Carvels everywhere or whatever, $30 some. And that's what we went into thinking. I said, it was like, oh, I'm just going to have to pay $30.
We talked about this on a previous podcast too, where we went that night and it was $60 for Cookie Puss.
I do not remember that at all. Or I would have said, hey, let's just go and get some ice cream or something because
somewhere else. Because $60 for Cookie Puss.
And even that far out, right? And so now it's a battle to get Cookie Puss home
because you got to have dry ice
in the back of the car. Well, okay, so we had the cooler, but guess what? The cooler was too small. Because they put it in a cake box.
Yeah.
And the box was big, huge. It was massive. And I told her, I said, this is going to be too big. So what we did was we took the ice packs that we had and put them into two of the grocery, the cooler grocery bags and put them on top of each other, like overlapping each other, and then put the ice in on all around it. So it was packed in ice and everything. Threw it in the back of the car, had the air conditioning on super high, just trying to keep it cool enough so we didn't have puddle puss when we finally got
the sloppy pussy.
The sloppy pussy puss. So we finally are en route. We're screaming back at Cookie Puss to just hold on a little longer because we're almost home, and we're just making tons of puns and everything about how this was just going to be a mess. And we finally get home and we pull it all apart. And the only thing that really was a problem was that it looked like he had little wrinkles where it kind of melted across the top, or maybe they just didn't have the ice cream fill in all the way. So it looked like Elder Puss because it was Elder Cookie Puss. And so, went right into the freezer. He's
just been waiting for somebody to buy him for that long.
And maybe that was it.
That's why he has the wrinkles. So he's in the freezer. He said
finally got him in the freezer, refrozen again, and we pull him out. And we just didn't really know the scope of it because it's in this giant ass box, right? Mm-hmm. So we take it all apart and we open it up and we're like, for $70? Really? So you want to guess the dimensions on Cookie Puss? I mean, you saw the picture. I mean, you see the video of him flying in,
It's like a piece of paper, right? Like 8.5 by 11?
It is 7.5 by 12.
You're shitting me.
It is that big.
That's small.
And it says it feeds
$70.
I was like, are you on crack?
Oh, if they each just ate like one scoop?
Do you know how much we ate? You know how much? I asked for half an eyeball and the nose.
Right.
Right. Which is the nose is like ice cream cone filled with ice cream and then shoved on top with sprinkles. And Lisa asked for an entire eyeball. You know, the eyeballs are like half the cake because of the way it's all laid out and everything. Yeah. So we probably, two of us finished off half the freaking cake.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, okay. But then everybody was eating it and you weighed it down. And then Marley had some, friend came over and she had some today. But I didn't have any to bring to you because it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been a puddle anyway. But but you stop by after work tomorrow or whenever you go get back. You might not have any puss, but you did get your sub. So
I did get my sub and we're going to have that as soon as we're done recording, and I cannot wait.
Right. And you can see that it's made up of the whole face. It's just a giant face, but his little arms are next to his nose. So I don't even know how that works.
Like, what is he? Right? It's like a T-Rex ice cream cake or something?
I guess. But his mouth is where his edge of his arms start. And I was just like, that's a little odd. But you know the different ones you can get, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've got the Cookie Puss.
Right.
And then you got the Cookie Puss that you can get. And he's green and has some very very bad
and Fudgy the
Irish
Whale
accident. That's the Fudgy the Whale was actually the Father's Day Fudgy the Whale because on the front of it says to a whale of a dad.
Oh,
that's why Fudgy the Whale is
because we've seen you with your pants down, Dad. You got a big.
And then there's the 3D butterfly cake, and the weird thing about that one, and I bring this up because they had the butterfly right, and it's the body through the middle of the butterfly cake, but the eyeballs are on the side. On the edge of the cake. And I was like, why are his eyes there? And they're just like, they're like Google eyes and they just like shove them on the side. And I was like, that is not eyeballs. Right. That is an alien.
Wrong. And they charge $85 for that?
That is probably more than likely. And then you got Hug Me the Bear. He's in like really low overalls. Like he's shirtless and his overalls are like really too low. Like they'd be showing his
like how Mickey Mouse used to only wore pants.
Yes, but his pants weren't showing below his belly button or anything. True. I mean, I guess they kind of were, but
I don't know.
Did he have a belly button? He would have to as a mammal, but. Yeah. Anyway, and then another one was that of note was Nutty the Ghost cake. And basically, Nutty is the ghost on this cake, and he looks like a little white turd, basically.
Ew.
Just like Hanky.
Yeah.
on the cake, white. But it was a gross amount of crushed nuts just shoved onto the side of the cake, around the outside of the cake.
That's kind of creepy.
I was like, that is not
That's a lot of crushed nuts.
Why would I eat that? And then the Santa cake is basically oddly shaped like Fudgy the Whale, upside down,
right? Just flipped over, and it's that's all. I've seen that actually. The flip
and then Tom the Turkey was also was a Cookie Puss basically, but just with the turkey on front of it.
Yep.
And don't forget, you can also get your plushies, which are Huggy the Bear plushies, which is just a teddy bear. But they also had a Cookie Puss plushie.
Oh, right. Point. Yeah. I've seen the Cookie Puss plushie.
You have. It looks very disturbing.
It is because it's just,
it's just round. It's not even like him. It's just.
Oh, I know.
It's not. Yeah. But they call it the Cookie Puss thing.
There. Okay.
Yep. So that was my Cookie Puss excursion.
Gotcha.
Excursion into Cookie Puss.
Oh, my gosh. But I've got a sub waiting for me in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you were ready. Just heat that mother up and you're good to go.
Keep this podcast going and keep it moving. All right. TVs and movies. TV and movies. So I finished a couple shows this past week that I was in the middle of last week, and I almost started talking about them, and then I was like, okay, but I'm not going to talk about them because I'm going to wait till I'm finished. And the first one I watched was the docu-series on Netflix called Unlocked. It's about the prisoners that are kept in this, like in the prison. It's actually after they've gone to trial, they've been convicted, and now they're awaiting their length of time that they have to in jail.
Their sentencing.
They put them, they're sentencing. This is like a holding kind of area. Okay. So the guys come in and out, like, there's some guys that have been there a while. There's some guys that, come in, they're just, detained. They're waiting to, find out, what they're.
A little bit of limbo.
Yeah. So they have a turnover of new people coming in and out. So, but anyway, so in this jail I think it's Louisiana. I want to say it's Louisiana, I think. The sheriff decides that he's going to get them to try to be a community. Like, let them unlock their doors, because they keep them some days on lockdown for 23 hours and they're only allowed out for 1 hour. And so this sheriff decides, okay, we're going to do an experiment and we're going to have, camera crews, and we're going to record this and all this stuff. And it's a docuseries on Netflix about, watching these convicted felons. There's a guy in there for murder. There's a guy, guys in there for all kinds of assault and, robbery and shit and stuff like that. And so it's just see if they can just act, like a community together, and so they don't have to keep the doors locked. And it goes through, there's still inmates that, go and try to beat the shit out of each other, because it's always, very violent. And one guy says, one thing wrong, and then some guy's up in his face ready to stick him. And it's just like, oh my gosh. It's so it was. Did you start watching any of it by chance? Okay, because that was on because Dave was supposed to put it on his homework list. I didn't expect him to watch it by this week, but so when you watch it, see, because my one thing with it is the way it's edited together, and they show it to you. It's like you're supposed to start having sympathy for these killers locked up, and that was where I was really, really, I did not like how they were editing it together, where I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to like East Side. Oh, yeah, I feel bad for him. Oh, and I'm like, there was a guy in there that he literally killed somebody, and he walked into a hospital with a gun and killed somebody. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been there for murder. Right. So I don't like the producer's view of it. Like, okay, show me what's going on, but don't start doing the little one-on-one interview things. And then it's not like the Olympics backstory on an athlete.
How they got to this point.
Oh they had such a rough time to get here. And all that stuff during the Olympics. So don't do that. With a show like this, they're criminals. They've been convicted of a crime that they did. I believe in our justice system in this country. My father's a retired police officer. I'm all for, innocent until proven guilty. But then if you're proven guilty, you're fucking guilty, because they've obviously had enough proof to make you guilty. So, and I mean, yes, there's been times in the system gets flawed, and, people slip through, and, whatever, like Andy Dufresne and,
yes,
Shawshank.
Of course, Shawshank. Exactly.
One of my favorite movies
again.
Another one of my favorite movies.
Right.
So I watched all of Unlocked. I got to the end, and I mean, I get the experiment. I did enjoy it on some level. I just didn't like I'm being pulled in to have sympathy for them, for these criminals.
Okay, so that was that one.
They're doing their time. That's
right.
Right. So I watched that. It was okay. I would recommend. I mean, there's a lot of bad language and fighting, and the N word and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But and I don't, no, there was some reading in it. You might be out on that.
Uh-oh. God,
it wasn't in a foreign language just because you can't always hear them in the audio. Was,
right. So
you still hear what's actually being said. But
right. But you can't really understand it because there's too much going on.
So liked it, kind of didn't like it, on the fence on it. Yeah. I did watch the Bratz documentary. Did you see about that? It's on actually Hulu.
You mean like the dolls?
No, Bratz. Like it's about the Brat Pack from the 80s.
Yeah,
from St. Elmo's Fire.
Yes, not with
Breakfast
the Z,
Club.
But
not Bratz with the Z.
Okay,
but the documentary is called Bratz. And Andrew McCarthy, who was in the Brat Pack, he's made this little documentary where he went back and found other members of the Brat Pack and interviews them. Like you know, Demi Moore, he goes to her house in California and like he meets up with Rob Lowe and it is house in California and he meets up with so he goes back and then tells their side of it from being the Brat Pack and how they were given this name they didn't ask for and it affected the rest of their lives because of it. Because then you get pigeonholed in Hollywood that you're one of the Brat Pack. And they actually talked to John Cryer, who was Ducky in Pretty in Pink, but then went on to do Two Men and all the stuff. John Cryer's had a very good career. He's done well.
Yeah,
and they go down the list like, okay, who's in the Brat Pack? And even though yes, he was in Pretty in Pink with Andrew McCarthy and Molly Ringwald, both of them being in the Brat Pack. He goes, I'm not in the Brat Pack. I was never in the Brat Pack. I refuse to be in the Brat. But he's being tongue in cheek about saying it too. Almost like at the time he was kind of offended that he wasn't, but now he's glad he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
John Cryer's always great. He's funny.
Yeah.
So
that was good. Robert Downey Jr.? Is that
Robert Downey Jr.? Yeah. I mean, well,
there was right? There was Less Than Zero.
Yeah.
That was with
Andrew McCarthy and Jamie Gertz. And exactly. So that was. So it's a good documentary. It was a good stroll back to 1985 when this all happened and how it all came out is Emilio Estevez, who was in the Brat Pack because he was in the Breakfast Club and did that stuff.
Right.
He did a interview with a writer for some magazine in New York, and they got a little too friendly, and he started saying stuff, and then so the writer then wrote this article about them and called them the Brat Pack because they sound like a bunch of little brats, whatever.
Well,
So. Yeah, and that's how the whole thing started, but it's good to get the whole backstory, and it's good to see Andrew go. He went to Emilio Estevez's house. He met up with a bunch of
He found them.
Yeah,
well, it's not hard to find them. They're celebrities, but
John Cryer actually asked him if because they were all in Pretty in Pink together, and he asked about Molly Ringwald. He goes, is Molly going to do this?" And Andrew goes, "No, she just wasn't really she's what's in the past is in the past. She just doesn't and want to bring those stories back up and and how that you were treated and stuff." So they didn't get Molly Ringwald, and then throughout the series too, he's on the search to find Judd Nelson. And how Judd Nelson's completely aloof and off the grid and nobody knows where he is and nobody has his number and they have no way to get a hold of him.
Wow.
And all this stuff.
Is he still alive? I guess he'd still.
I think he is. I don't know. We're gonna get to that in a minute. So going back to last week also, there was a Smokey and the Bandit 3 made.
Yes, I know. Yes, but it wasn't with Burt Reynolds.
No, Burt Reynolds wasn't in it.
Right,
no.
but all the shots were from his neck down.
Exactly, and it was
in the car. Yeah, or the car, his hat was down, or something crazy, or
something.
That.
Right, and
I remember
it was the Knight Rider Trans Am.
Yeah,
Trans Am,
the older one,
not the old Pontiac.
The 87
eagle on it, or the bird on it. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
So it was a terrible
3,
movie.
So this would be 4. The new one would be 4. The one we want is 4.
The one we want is the Smokey and the Bandit 4.
Right. Well, going back to that, that's my Dead or Alive.
Okay, so I have some of them in my Dead or Alive. I made a Dead or Alive this week too.
Okay,
so let's go through this quick. You go through yours first, and then I'll go through mine.
Okay, so my Dead or Alive is the Smokey and the Bandit version.
Okay,
so I had all the people.
Okay, I had all of them too.
You do have them. Okay,
so I've got the answers. Go down the list, and I'll tell you if I can get them wrong.
Right. So we got Burt Reynolds.
Dead.
Passed. Yes, he passed in 2018. He had a heart attack. Died of a heart attack. I think. Sally Fields.
Alive.
Yeah, she is alive and still working. She's got a lot of things under her belt.
Yep.
Jackie Gleason, of course,
dead.
Passed. Yes. Jerry Reed.
Dead.
Yes, we were wondering if Jerry Reed was actually still alive. We will not be able to add him to
Smoking the Bandit.
So Mike Henry is
dead.
the son.
Junior. Yeah, he played Junior
in 2021. Just recently.
I know.
Yeah,
I saw it. And he was like 86 or 89 or something like that.
Yeah, and he was working right up to that too. Okay. So then you got Pat McCormick, who was Big Enos.
Dead.
He's passed in 2005.
I have all these on my list.
And then, of course, you called him Andy Williams, but it's
singer,
Paul Williams. Paul Williams.
But Paul Williams was a songwriter and has wrote a ton of hits for like 70s.
I remember that like part people. Of it, but so, not anyway. Andy Williams.
But yeah, not Andy Williams. Was, Williams. The Most Wonderful Time of the Year Christmas album.
Yes.
Not,
it
was Paul Williams.
He's passed too.
Yes.
But this is Paul Williams, who has played Little Enos.
Who is still alive.
He's still alive.
And he's 83 years old.
Yes, and still working, from what I understand.
Amazing.
Getting work.
And he's still writing and doing, oh my gosh, music stuff. And like, okay. So, that was all your characters from the...
That is what I had. Well, those are the main characters.
Right, the main ones.
I mean, you weren't going to get... character actors that are out like holding up signs. Sign holder 3,
Turn
number 3,
way.
or
we love you, Bandit.
We love Bandit. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Bandit.
You're not getting that one, or biker number
hey, sugar
7.
Pants.
Or you weren't going to get.
You
those
still
guys.
wearing those knickers?
I don't think there were.
Were they allowed to say this up on the radio? Then?
Cop number 3. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, you're not getting that one.
Branford.
yes.
Who is dead?
What?
The guy from the first Smokey the Bandit movie, after. When Jackie Gleason goes, he goes, "Can I get your name?" And he goes, "Branford."
Oh,
it was the cop that asked him that. Yeah.
Oh,
he's
interesting.
Dead. Yeah,
interesting.
I did go down that far down the list on my Smokey the Bandit. Okay, so did you have more on your Dead or Alive list, or was that?
That was because mine was the Smokey the Bandit.
Okay, so I do have more.
So I just did them
because then I had a conversation at the dinner table with my kids the other night.
Okay,
and my youngest son. He said something and it was like this half mumble kind of voice. And I said, "Who are you, Ed McMahon?"
Uh-oh.
And he, of course, my kids don't know. Yeah, exactly. Are you correct, sir? You are correct,
yes, exactly. Well, a lot of people aren't going to understand
that either because, yes, anyway, Ed McMahon was Johnny Carson's sidekick on The Tonight Show for like 27,000 years.
It was always the implication that he was drunk the whole time.
Well, he was, I think, a lot of the time.
You think it was?
But he was Johnny's yes man who's just sat on the end of the couch
having
and
fun. Look,
having fun. Glad to be there smoking cigarettes and
he definitely drug him along. Yes.
So Ed McMahon, dead or alive?
Dead.
Yes, dead.
Do we know when? Do you have when?
2009.
Yeah.
Doc Severinsen.
Who's
the leader of the band, the Tonight Show band.
Yes,
Remember, he always had his like blue suit and his trumpet.
Yes.
And
he actually played. Yes, and he toured too, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I would say he's passed.
Nope, he is alive.
Is he still touring?
He is 96 years old, and he is still touring.
Holy crap! Well, when you entertain, you entertain.
Oh my gosh!
Why stop if you can do it?
He has a tour this summer that's
so
it's the Doc Severinsen band. And
we need a reviewer.
96. Oh my gosh! I could not believe that.
That's crazy.
Okay, so then I just went through. Then I went on like actresses.
Okay,
an actress thing. Okay, so these. Okay. Well, I'll just go through quick. Brigitte Bardot
passed.
She's alive and 89 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I can't believe Brigitte Bardot is still alive.
Wow.
Rita Moreno. Do you remember her?
I do.
Okay.
I think I saw that she's passed.
She's alive, and she is 92. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, Brigitte Bardot's 89. Right. Rita, is 92.
92.
Okay. Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia Newton-John did pass.
Yes, in 2022, just recently.
Yes.
Catherine Bach. Played Daisy on The Dukes of Hazzard.
Alive.
Yes, alive and 80 years old.
Still wearing her Daisy Dukes.
Still in her Daisy Dukes. Catherine Bach. Oh no, is that what I just said?
Yeah. That was
my God, I just repeated.
You're missing the line, so you didn't know.
I did. I was like scrolling on my phone.
You can edit that out.
Okay, I'll just take that out. Or leave it in because it's just funny. Because it's just funny.
Those are takes. Outtakes.
Yes, absolutely. So moving on to just old TV also in that time, Gil Gerard. Who was Buck Rogers.
He was Buck Rogers. 25th century. He is passed.
Alive and 81 years old.
Oh.
And what about his sidekick, Aaron Gray? The lovely Aaron Gray.
She always wore the jumpsuits.
Oh my gosh. The lovely,
I would
lovely
say
Aaron Gray.
Alive.
She is alive. And she's 74.
See, and then this is 74. Why they need another one. Right?
Yeah. Okay, I've only got 2 more. Faye Dunaway.
She's passed.
Nope, alive in 83.
Wow.
She leads a very private life. And she doesn't do appearances. She doesn't leave her house. She's like very just secluded. And she lives a very private life. And
she did her thing. So she's ready.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Okay, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman is, he passed.
He is alive. He is 93 years old, and he was actually just seen last week, and there were photographers. I forget. I think it was in Tennessee or something like that. I don't remember. Just look up Gene Hackman last week.
But not doing work, though.
No. He was out, and he was pumping gas, and he was in good health, and he's doing great and still kicking it at 93. I'm like, that is awesome.
I always remember some good movies from Gene Hackman.
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. Yeah. What was the one he did with Will Smith? Was that Enemy of the State?
Yes, where he played the conspiracy guy.
Yeah. Speaking of conspiracy theories,
there we go. Yeah. Perfect.
So that was my Dead or Alive, and the rest of my TVs and movies. Oh, I did say also just quickly. I watched the Remembering Gene Wilder documentary on Netflix that just came out this week.
Yep,
and I absolutely. Him as Willy Wonka for me is still even though Roald Dahl hated the TV or the movie version, blah blah blah, whatever. Right. I still love Gene Wilder, grew up with him, always thought he was hysterical. And so it's just great to see this documentary on him and to see how well he was liked. And, it's just fantastic. So I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes. So it's a good, watch. And it has actually audio bites from him of stuff. I don't know. It's from if it was like audio book that he did or something, but they took segments out of that. You hear his voice. So it's very nice. So almost like he's narrating it in a way. It was but not, there's still, you just watch it. It's good. It's on Netflix.
Perfect. Well, mine was Young Frankenstein stuff.
And they go over Young Frankenstein. Definitely.
Was just awesome.
So did you watch the first 3 episodes of The Boys?
No, it came out on...
Yes.
It came out.
Yeah, I finished episode 3 last night. Okay, that's your homework for next week.
Those are both my homeworks. Locked in or locked...
Locked down or unlocked. Unlocked, and then watch the first 3 episodes of The Boys.
I don't know why I missed that one.
I don't know.
I was ready for that one. I don't know why I missed that one.
Gotcha. So,
okay. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. We did your Dead or Alive. So I guess we could just, we've got sports real quick to wrap up. Dave and I talked about this before the podcast last week, and then I think forgot to get back to talk about it.
Right.
There was a, what is his name? Chestnut. He's the hot dog eater guy.
Right.
Joey Chestnut. Yes. He's a 16-time world champion hot dog eater. Every 4th of July at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, he wins it.
And this is sports.
And this is sport. It is sport. Okay. Where else would you put this in the program?
You just eat. I don't know if that's
it's not really TVs and movies. Sport? Some people think it's a sport. Some people think NASCAR is a sport.
Competitive eating, I guess, is a sport. So
competitive eating, yes. So he has been banned from,
because you saw why,
I don't remember.
Right?
Yes, he signed with a vegan company that
an impossible
type thing and money, and
they're competitors.
I swear we talked about this.
I don't remember it on the podcast.
I don't either. So if we did, we would just completely hey, remember that from last week that we did.
You edited the podcast. I listened to it. I don't remember.
After a couple times, we would.
Yeah, you would, and we were there. So it was just last week. It's going to get kind of bad if we go a day to day and not remember the things we talked about in the podcast.
This
is going to get repetitive.
Hey, did I talk about this yesterday?
Yes, I had a license plate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So also on Netflix, and this could be fake, I don't know, but it now says that there's going to be a Chestnut versus Kobayashi unfinished beef, and it's the two. It's going to be an eat off that's supposed to be on Netflix, but honestly, I think that might be fake because it looks like the whole Mike Tyson, Paul, whatever thing, like how they're Jake pushing Paul. A live event on Netflix.
Well, now we've got 2 events 2nd. That we're gonna have.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that one might be fake. I'm gonna go with fake on that one.
Yeah.
So, and the NHL Stanley Cup is in Game 5 right now. It is on right now. We've decided to record through the second period to record our cast, and so we're gonna find
get back
out.
To it while Pern
hopefully
enjoys
in Florida.
A sub.
And I'm going to get my sub and roll up my sub.
Yes.
And sit on the couch and get fat.
Yep. Oh, wait. Well, who knows how long that's going to be? Who knows when the next time we're going to get to a Mario's
or see Florida win a Stanley Cup. So we're going to go do that.
That was the last Cookie Puss I'm getting. So
I'm now not regretting not getting one.
Oh, yes.
So thanks for going
70 freaking bucks. But
exactly.
Yes, I could have driven to New York and gotten one cheaper and not had to work for dry ice.
But you would have had to buy the dry ice. You should have bought the dry ice.
I probably should have.
Okay.
We didn't think about it. I didn't know. It wasn't my project, right?
I know.
Yes.
So, okay. All right. So I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Pern and Dave, Let's Talk is brought to you by, well, Pern and Dave. And
Jackrabbit Slims, fine dining.
It's like a museum with a pulse. And the good people at Al's Toy Barn.
We've got the lowest prices in town. Everything for a buck.
Till next time.